well, we're just going to finish with farming. And, well, the government is pushing this out this morning. This is from DEFRA. We're introducing a new deal for farmers. So they've announced their commitment to introduce a new deal for farmers to address low confidence and provide stability to the farming sector. So this is what they have to say: optimizing environmental land management schemes so that they can produce the right outcomes for all farmers, including those who've been too often ignored, such as small grassland, upland and tenanted farmers, while delivering food security and nature recovery in a just and equitable way. So they're claiming to maintain food security. And my question is, are they going to do any such thing? Now, Harry Metcalf is a farmer in the UK who has a YouTube channel called Harry's Farm. And he released a video yesterday commenting on the issue of environmental land management and food security. Let's have a listen to this.
We have a consumption of oilseed rape in the UK of around 1.8 million tonnes. They think the 24 harvest is going to be about 900 tonnes. You don't have to go back. You go back to 2012, we were exporting 700,000 tonnes. So we're growing 2-point-something million tonnes of rape. 2024, we're down to 900,000 tonnes. And just going on a perception and chatter amongst farmers, that might go down to 600,000 tonnes next year. It's just decimated the tonnage of oilseed rape being grown in this country, food if you like. And with all these environmental things happening as well, the wheat tonnage is going down. I don't know what's going to happen in harvest 25 when reality hits, when the actual amount of food produced in this country has dropped so dramatically. We're not talking about 10%, we're talking about half the amount. I mean, huge numbers. And I notice also stock numbers on the upland farms, the report's just been published, they're massively down. So they've dropped 600-something thousand head of sheep this year, just in 1 year alone. Don't know, I'm sure the government know what they're doing, all these schemes, but it's having a dramatic effect on the amount of food we grow in this country.
I'm sure the government knows exactly what it's doing. I think he's right about that, but perhaps not in the way that he means. The government absolutely knows what it's doing. The government absolutely understands that the UK is a country that already imports 60% of its food. And as Harry Metcalf there making the point, we're no longer exporting certain types of produce because we're not producing enough of it. As these land management schemes continue to develop, and you remember, I appreciate Debbie's point about change, but Starmer talking about change, in fact, he isn't. He's just accelerating the change which was already in progress. And with respect to farming, that change was the taking of land out of production for food and turning it back into so-called environmental schemes. This is extremely dangerous. And if we think, we began the program by talking about the pressure that people have been under as a result of immigration and the fact that not just immigration, but also the collapse of infrastructure as people have been taking money out of the system, hand over fist. This is going to increase pressure even further because inevitably with shortages, prices are going to go up again on a long-term basis. Now, Harry talking about 2025 harvest being when when things sort of become apparent to people. We've been warning about this for how many years now? This has been coming. So nobody should be surprised. Hopefully it can be reversed, but the food production scenario in this country is, Debbie, I would say absolutely insane. I don't know if you've got any thoughts.
Well, I mean, I just go back, to be honest, Mike, we hear all the time about the Sustainable Development Goals. And clearly, this is to make everything unsustainable. We are not a sustainable country, and they are deliberately dismantling us. They are deliberately destroying, disrupting, in order to create carnage so that we are completely unsustainable. So their sustainable goal is unsustainability, or am I getting it wrong? That's just the way I see it. Everything is inverted. Everything is turned upside down. And with all of the land being reclaimed for solar farms and wind turbines, wind farms as well. It's clear what the agenda is, and that is to destroy any sustainability that this country ever had.
Absolutely. I find it interesting and slightly amusing. You use the word carnage, of course, because Mark Carney is a key figure that's behind all this. When we're talking about we're not just talking about the British government. We're also talking about people that have worked within the British government but are in other roles now. But we're talking about sort of multinational organizations like the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and so on. So there are many players in this game, and we'll be talking more and more about them in the coming days and weeks. Well, look, we've got to leave it there for today. So I'm going to say thank you very much to Debbie and Mark for joining us. Thank you all for watching. If you're a UK Column member, stick around on the live stream, and we'll be back in a few minutes for some extra. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I won't see you for another 2 weeks, but the news will continue as usual. See you Monday. Bye bye.